All right, we are live, and the New York Mets are back in first place.
Somehow, some way.
Somehow, some way. We have like the back banner up, but you also have like the panic button out. Everything has been on the table in a very, very crazy last couple months of the season, which, again, we're Mets fans, we're used to it, but it still doesn't mean we need stuff to chill out, and that's why we get ourselves our Coors Light. We got to believe it's presented by Coors Light. We are juggling work, family, and the busyness this summer in general, along with a schizo baseball team occasionally. It's easy to feel the pressure, but that doesn't mean we have to lose our chill. There are plenty of chances in life to make things better by choosing chill. So grab every opportunity to choose chill. Then there's no better way to choose chill than reaching for a nice cold Coors Light. When the mountains turn blue, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. And again, I'm popping my Coors Lights. I popped it one at 110 yesterday because day games are never a fun experience, especially when there's going to be a 2-inning save. And at that time, Coors Light helped me chill out. So New York, choose chill. Choose Coors Light, proud partner of the New York Mets. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/believe. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And here we are, boys, fresh off a sweep. The brooms are out. And I'll tell you, I feel like these last two series, am I the only one in this? Like, they meant something and you're emotional with them just like every other game. When you play the Reds and the Angels, there's just like a oomph missing of it all.
I mean, the Angels is like, it feels like spring training. I'm like, what even is this? The Anaheim ain't like, get out of here. I'm with you on that. There are certain teams that like rev your engines, and then there are ones that are like, does this count towards our record? Is this even real?
And when there's the bad teams, they're so bad, you're like, we have to win this game, or they're doing stupid shit. It's the like meh that of like the middle of the teams I forget about when I'm going through my head, like on the dozen to name teams, I'll forget about the Angels occasionally.
Yeah, it's like we're so prone to like get swept by the a basement team that when you're playing a bad team, the Mets always play up and they play down. So when you play meh, the Mets kind of go meh, and it's like. I worry more about, when the Marlins are last place and I'm like, oh, we're playing them. And of course you worry about the top dogs, but the middle, if you're 500 and you're like, if you're 500 and you're wearing red and you're like from the American League,
This was the perfect time to play the Angels because you probably just convinced them. It's like, oh, you should probably just sell now. Like you're not like, you're not a big playoff team. Like just, we did you a favor. Go get your prospects.
You're welcome, Anaheim. You got that. You got it.
Yeah. And I guess the other side of it too is like so many of these teams have like 3/4 of the lineup. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Oh man.
And you have your Trout and you have a couple guys I have on fantasy with the Reds. Other than that, it's kind of lost. Ellie De La Cruz is a star.
Bro, watching Trout is so weird. Like, like 3 strikeouts the other day, and I was like, I know he's still a productive guy when you look at his numbers, but man, the ball off is crazy.
He comes up in those 2 9th-inning spots, and they're just pop-outs to the infield. Like,
I mean, he's never been good in those spots anyway. But
but still, like I was watching with my kids, and I was like, Shay, this isn't good. Like this guy who's up is really good, and like, no big deal.
Yeah. And he already had the home run earlier in the game. There's still flashes, which almost makes it worse. He's like. I remember when like Grady Sizemore was like the Sports Illustrated cover, like he has the perfect lefty swing, and then it was like he just continually got hurt.
Dude, that guy was underrated. He was fucking good.
I know.
But Trout, I mean, like, it's so weird because I didn't watch Trout like a lot, just being on the West Coast and in the American League. But I was always making the arguments for him, and like, when Miguel Cabrera won the Triple Crown over him, I was writing long blogs about why these are not the stats to worry about, all this shit. And I was like, this guy's the best player to ever touch a diamond. And then it's just like, you never won. You're not breaking any records. You're good. You're great. But like, it's just, I don't know. I think he really will be one of those forgotten guys. It's like it's like Jimmy Fox or somebody who's like always on the list, but like nobody knows him or nobody like talk. You know what I mean? It's crazy how that can go.
And we've talked about it. And it was always the comparison was because him and Harper came up at the same time. And, Harper was the number 1 pick, Bryce, and the fucking video of him in Tampa Bay hitting those moonshots in like the high school showcase. And then Trout was just this like urban legend you heard whispers about, right? Mm-hmm. And then he came up. He was awesome. He was an MVP candidate. I was right there with you, Kev. I was banging the drum on the fuck the Triple Crown and 3 random stat categories versus playing defense and everything else, which I kind of saw a little bit last year, right, with our boy Lindor. But then it's kind of like with Trout, the injuries took place, everything's kind of gone to shit. But it's also like Shohei Ohtani was kind of forgotten about after a couple years in Anaheim too. It's like, what if Trout had just left them, right?
Well, dude, that's the thing. Like, I don't really even know what their career numbers are. Trout versus Harper. I'm imagining Trout has him edged in significantly in a lot of categories. But like Bryce Harper, even if Bryce Harper never wins an MVP again, whatever, he will still be very much remembered by playing in Philadelphia. By playing.
He played in the World Series.
Right. But even like, yeah, I really, even if that didn't happen, like I think that just being in a baseball city where people care and people are constantly talking about you and you develop rivalries. Like, who's Mike Trout's rival? Who's the Angels' rival? He has
like 50 career home runs versus the Mariners. Who cares?
Right. And it's like nobody cares about you or the team you're doing it against. So nobody's talking about this at all. It's like he was a loyal. Well, I guess he was a loyal guy, but it was more like he got like the first $400 million contract and was ready to just live in Southern California and make money, which I get. But man, if he spent some time in like Boston or some shit, oh baby, that would be a whole different story.
He benefited because he's like a Philly guy, so he would have went to the Phillies, and then we'd be
fucked. Yeah,
like that.
The biggest step out of his career was the World Baseball Classic, where Ohtani struck him out.
That's a great way to put him. Where it's like, even that ended poorly, but the fact that that's like his most memorable at bat is not great.
I feel like I could be wrong, but didn't he own King Felix? That was part of those home runs against the Mariners.
Yeah.
And King Felix almost suffers from that too. West Coast, bad team, guy that just kind of stuck it out with the same team that whole time. And they kind of just are in that AL West, just whatever zone, right?
Right.
And
that's why I love that Juan Soto came to a team that matters. That like, he's with the fan base that loves him and knows him and is going to like honor him. And the world will talk about him because he's a New York Met. Because prior to that, he was just on a West Coast team. And it's just not.
Teams that don't play defense. It's disgusting. Right. I was told Juan Soto doesn't play defense, and then he just guns out another guy at home every other game. It's crazy to me.
I was told he was fat, and he's scoring on ground balls to second like he's fucking Jose Reyes sliding.
Career high stolen bases. I mean, where's this coming from?
He's a 5-tool player.
5-tool player.
I do love he catches like the can of corn ball, and then he looks at the guy first. He's like, "Go ahead, try."
Yeah. Let me see. He's throwing behind that guy the other day, trying to get him back at first. Unbelievable.
That's one thing about Juan. I didn't realize he had the sauce like that. I didn't realize he had even the umpire stuff. I didn't realize how much him and the catcher. There's a lot of shit, a little stink on the boy.
The other day when he hit that bomb and turned to the catcher, and did we ever anybody ask some questions about what he said there? Because that was like a fuck you. Throw that pitch again. I dare you. See what happens, bitch. That was harsh.
Yeah, man, he's been everything we could hope for. So I'm happy he's out of a place that doesn't. It's crazy how much that other team is starting to turn into like us, right? It's like, oh, they had the offense and they just booted the ball around, couple base running errors, bullpen explosions.
Fans are melting down, and I hate to shoot him any bail, but they're 15 games above 500. They're right where we are, and we're over the moon half the time. And I understand they're spoiled, and that's why they're annoying and they're dog shit. But on top of that, it's if this is how you guys act during this kind of season, walk a mile in my shoes, bro. All the shit we've seen, you guys wouldn't last a fucking minute, dude.
The Yankees currently had the first wild card spot. They are in a playoff spot by 3.5 games over Tampa Bay, who may end up selling.
They're literally rock bottom.
Even Boone's losing it. He did the interview with John Boy he does every week, and he's fed up. He's like, I'm done with this shit. We care about winning the games. We're not trying to lose. Stop asking.
I know a manager, they don't want to throw their players under the bus, but it is funny in a game we have 5 errors. Boone's like, I think we have a good defensive team.
He says that shit all the time. He's like, oh, outside of a couple losses, we're good. It's no, dude. Your shortstop has the most errors in baseball. There's some significant problems that they just don't address at all.
It's like in 2018 when SNY would put out, if you take out the month of June, the Mets would be a playoff team. It's like, well, they had 5 wins in the month of June. You can't just take that out.
The Yankees might need an ombudsman, or they honestly kind of need they need a Frank the Tank. Because as much as Frank drives us crazy, the Mets couldn't get away. The Mets manager, like Mickey Callaway, couldn't have gotten away with saying that kind of shit after like a 5-error game.
No way.
You know, Frank would explode, and even the haters would be like, "Frank, you're right on this.
Right, you're right on this one." As much as I hate him, he's like the hero that Gotham needs. Like he keeps everybody in check a little bit. Who's the Nick Turturro? Nick, what's his name? The super fan.
Turturro, I think is how you pronounce it.
Somebody tweeted Nick is a bootleg Frank the Tank. And there was a video of him going, "You motherfucking cocksucker, fucking motherfucker, can't catch a fucking ball, motherfucker." It was like it was a Frank the Tank like F- rant with like a Bronx Italian accent. So
it's John Turturro's brother, right?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if I was mixing him up with John Turturro.
Yeah.
But it is Nick
John
Turturro.
Turturro played Billy Martin in that ESPN.
Right. Yeah. But he tries to be that guy, but he ain't it. Frank is so funny, so polarizing. There are times, obviously, I absolutely fucking hate him. There are times I love him when he's losing weight and like when we're on the same page with the Mets or he's happy about the Mets. But I saw a tweet of someone like behind home plate upper deck shooting down to Frank at like on the like
the Pink Pony Club video.
What's that?
The Pink Pony Club video.
Yeah, but he was going bonkers, and the tweet was just like, "This man is a menace who ruins the game for everyone around him." Like at Steve Cohen, at whoever, like you need to ban this man because he's like ruining the games for all the fans around him. And I was just like, yeah, it's probably within his vicinity. There's at least 200 people who are like, "Oh my god!" Like you got kids, you got people who paid. You're sitting behind them. It's crazy.
So the Pink Pony Club video was funny, and that was just him with his head down. And I don't even know if he knew the camera was on. Frank thinks he is the reason people are going to the ballpark sometimes. I think so. He's like, people are watching me for my Pink Pony Club reaction. That was one thing. I did see him. That was a meltdown on David Wright Day, which I mean we were at, and I know how frustrating a game that was.
Yeah.
Don't do it on David Wright Day. That's all I gotta say.
All right, things went bad on David Wright Day, but the whole point of David Wright Day is to think about like the good times. Everything went bad with David Wright too, but we're just remembering the good. Like, just shut the fuck up. I think this bump earlier from David Wright when he came out. Like, what do you? How could you be upset about that day, Frank?
I don't think we've won on a jersey retirement day like ever. Like I'm trying to think. We lost on Wright. We lost on Strawberry. Gooden we lost. Even before like 2016 when they did Piazza, we lost to the Rockies that day, I'm pretty sure.
The 08 like season stadium closing and opening was
it's
the
like
worst idea ever. Like anytime we plan these things, it's a fucking
you think David Wright was surprised that they lost on David Wright Day? Like he lived through last day.
Yeah. I think David Wright was like,
that ball went foul. He was in shock that we were going to tie that game. This is the new Mets,
dude. I think David Wright was like, right at home.
Yeah,
like this is where I belong. A disappointing Mets loss.
And I think it came through on the TV, but when we were there, it was picturesque that day. It was beautiful. And when David Wright got on the podium, it started raining. And I honestly could not believe. I was like, there's clouds in the sky? Like, how is rain happening?
It was one of those cartoons where there's just a cloud above him, just raining on only him.
And that was the perfect way to describe the David Wright era with the Mets. It was this sunny day. We love him. You see that smile. You see some of those highlights. It makes you so happy. And then you just remember all the bad shit that went around it. And he's going to like live in pain the rest of his life. So I guess we go to like David Wright Day and the whole week that we just had. The Right Way. That was the name of the doc, right? Yeah. Did everyone see it? I loved it. I thought it was great.
I thought that was really good. The Mets have kind of let us down a little bit with some of like their, I don't want to say let us down, but like the YouTube series and the Juan Soto thing. And, some of it was just like, it's whatever. I thought that was great.
Kyle, you saw it, right?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I was away when they released it, yeah.
And it's tough to like, I have the SNY thing like you do.
How is that not on demand? In 2025, I missed.
Great question, Kevin. It's a great question right now. You're
first hearing of it. I missed, and I was like, after I put my kids to bed, I was like, all right. It was like 11 o'clock. I was like, oh, I'll watch it like late at night, and it was like old school like DVR days. It was like you can record this at 2 a.m. and watch it then. I was like, record what at 2? What? This is not just. And then I was like, oh, it'll be on like SNY.TV. No, it'll be on the MLB.
On the YouTube.
Like what? That's my only complaint about that. You got to make those things those should just be like on YouTube. Those are not like, it's a one-off. It's not going to like change the viewership of your.
They're keeping it for the next rain delay, and then they know that they have.
Yeah, that's actually, they should run that for the next 20 rain delays. Like, I don't need beer money. I don't need anything else. Just do that.
I was at the point I couldn't rewind it. I was a half hour in when I caught it, and I looked at the schedule. I was like, I'm not going to be around for the next viewing, and I can't record it because I have the MLB app. And I'm just like, the kids are coming in. I'm like, get out! I'm not even like negotiating with them. Like, get out! I'm watching this, Dad. I want to. Nope, there's no way. I have to watch this. This was my guy growing up. My favorite part of it, as sick as it sounds, was like they kept it real. Like 2007 sucked. 2008 sucked. The spinal stenosis sucked, and there was some mismanagement along the way, and they like everything, like they explained why everything happened. And David also was like, I thought I was going to be there every year in 06 after 06, and I think we were all kind of in the same boat. And I left feeling like, man, I love David Wright even more than I thought, and I also left like, man, those years really fucking sucked. Looking back at that,
I already felt bad for him, and then after that, I was like, this might be the most tragic story in baseball history. Like, yeah. I mean, the fact that he only played in the postseason twice when we were with that core that we had, and I my favorite part I loved, and I was like really hoping it was true, and I think it is, how much he was like, I'm friendly with everybody, but fuck the Phillies and fuck Jimmy Rollins. And I was worried that like Jimmy Rollins was gonna come out and be like, we like shook hands and like we're friendly all the time. That guy's like just lying for the cameras or whatever. I think that would have happened by now if there was like some sort of, lie in that story. So the fact that seems to be like very real, like he's a guy who I would have thought like, hey man, no matter what, we're all competitors. We're all on the same side. We're all in the Players Association, blah, blah, blah. To be like, no, fuck those guys. Because when you compare their core, which was like similar, maybe a little bit better, and the success they had, they were in the postseason like every fucking year for a whole generation. It is truly tragic what went down with that guy. If you looked at Reyes, LaDuca, Wright, Floyd, Beltran, Delgado, blah, 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 and it's like, yeah, they made it once.
And then he gets at the other end of his career, the fucking 5 aces, and you have the pitching and enough with the hitting, you can figure it out, and Yo comes in, and that was it. 06, 15.
Nothing in between. When you really break it down like that pitching, that lineup, fuck.
Also, shout out to Memes for asking Chase Utley, why'd you do it?
Yeah. That was and you know what? I don't like Chase Utley. I'll never like him a little more than I did before he answered it. But like, he didn't run from it. I'll give him credit for that. Like he took it out. Like
I ain't giving Chase Utley shit for nothing. Fuck that guy.
He's gaslighting Ruben Tejada by like, oh, I thought he was gonna jump instead of spinning. His back was to you. There was no play at first base. You scumbag.
I mean, come on.
Man. I don't know why we're having controversial figures on podcasts and giving them a platform. Like, what's part of my take thinking these days?
What did you guys think of the Jose Reyes of it all? Because he was more emotional than like Wright's.
He was sobbing. It was crazy.
And it's like the same thing with the his last game. Jose Reyes was there too, and he was like, "This is my last game as a Met too. Like this is basically for me."
I know what you're saying, but I do think those guys have like an inexorable tie. They came up like the same time. That left side of the. I mean, I remember being like, "This is the left side of the infield for the next 20 years." And like they probably had so many talks along the everything we just explained, Clem. I'm sure they were like, "This fucking sucks, dude. What happened? It was all supposed to be different, you know."
I was gonna give him shit for being like, I love David Wright so much I left him for a bag of money in Miami. But like he was negotiating with the Wilpons. Can you imagine what they would probably offered him compared to the money he got offered from Miami?
My thing that Miami team too, they were like, we are going to make this like the Dominican professional team. They were trying to bring in Albert Pujols. They had so much money poured into that. And then after one season in typical Marlins fashion, they were like, well, didn't work. We'll see you.
Didn't win the World Series. We're done.
You know what's crazy? I don't dislike it by any means because he's every time I turn on the post game, he's in some like swaggy outfit. He just like stands out. I think it's funny, but he gets treated like he was a lifelong Met, and like he wasn't. He bailed, you know. But I don't want to say bailed because everything you described probably is true. I'm sure the Wilpons were lowballing him. I'm sure he was like, "Fuck this ownership. These guys suck." All of that, but it just kind of goes to show that like. I don't know, when you're like, oh, we need this guy to be like a Met for life. And it's like, if he goes and spends like 4 or 5 years somewhere else and nobody cares, you can kind of just come right back and ingratiate yourself to the fan base, do some broadcast work, do whatever. And you'll be remembered as a Met. No one gives a fuck about the Marlins years. But it is nice to think of like, if he stuck with it and like wrote it all the way out, then to me, you're like, I'll never speak bad about you ever again. I'll never say a bad word about David Wright ever in my life. Never.
No, never. I told Robbie we were on my mom's base, and Robbie started like getting onto the anti-Met stuff with David Wright. I said, Rob, I'm telling you right now, like it got real. I was like, that's the one guy you don't you make fun of my wife, the kids. Don't touch David Wright. That's my fucking capital G guy. He was in my life before any of them were. So he's number one in my book right now.
The most consistent force in my life, David Wright.
You know what else was really great too? They had him on MLB Network. I don't know if you guys saw this. He said, because we know the whole story with Syndergaard, he threw out his lunch and everything like that. He was saying Jacob deGrom, of all people, was extremely like mouthy in the locker room, like talking back to him and stuff. So he would take his jeans when he was out on the field and cut them into Daisy Dukes. And so he's like, I ruined so many of that guy's jeans. And then Al Leiter's on the broadcast and he goes, he's doing it right now to my son.
Oh, wow. I also like that they didn't run from the Syndergaard stuff either. They're like, yeah, I threw his lunch out. I just was mad. I did it around the media. So, like, I appreciate that they kept all that stuff in the doc. And did you hear that Gelb story that they had during the broadcast where he was saying how, like, one of the Mets big-timed him? He was like, I brought in a camera crew. It was his first year. He was nervous. He's like, I brought in a camera.
David, right?
Big-time Gelbs. He was like, I'm just going to do a story on him. Guy big time. He says, no, I'm not going to do it today. Next day goes in. No, I'm not going to do it today. Third time goes in. Guy, little ball, big time to a third time. Leaves. And the next day, guy goes, hey, listen, whatever you need, I'm going to do it. And it turns out that David Wright saw him the third time and was like, hey, man, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But when you say you're doing something, you got to treat the media with respect, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's doing their little there was a Jacob deGrom segment done exactly 10 years ago, which is lines up with the timeline. And it's like, So it is interesting because everyone's name was either Harvey, Syndergaard, or we just had dickheads on the pitcher's mouth.
It really were such fucking assholes, man.
And I was like, Syndergaard, would Syndergaard do that? I'm like, oh yeah, he bailed on you, Kev.
Yeah, you got a car accident. I still want to see. Check the Carfax. I want to see your fucking Carfax. I want to see what kind of accident you got in and you couldn't get on the. It was a phone interview. It wasn't even like he had to be there. It was like,
oh my god.
Where is he playing now?
He's in the White Sox minor leagues. If he gets cut,
used to be in the Mets alumni.
Yeah, if he gets cut in time, he can pitch in the alumni game.
Yes, bro, that guy is like he must have done something real bad for that karma. For his girlfriend to go be insanely wealthier than him, more famous than him, more successful than him, and then you're in the White Sox minor leagues. I mean, that guy when he was on, I remember being like, "Yo, Harvey was the first, deGrom is the one," but like when Thor is throwing hammers, man. He had like a 97-mile-an-hour slider. It was like untouchable.
He was going like 100 miles an hour as a starter before like it would start being a common thing.
A regular thing, right?
Yeah.
And like he'd have those little league games where he'd like, throw a shutout and hit a home run or some shit. He was like, man, the hair, the buzz in the tower against the Royals, like he was it. And then he was also the fucking worst.
Mm-hmm.
He got the Thor nickname immediately, and no one fought him on it. Yeah, everything just clicked.
He had the Game of Thrones music to come out to. He's in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, like he was cool as shit.
And he only had like one like really good like complete season his entire career, 2016. Because then after that it was always injuries or he just sucked.
Yeah, that was crazy. It's crazy that he doesn't have enough in the tank to like be a 5-starter somewhere. Like you're never going to be the ace, but like you're not even like.
Steven Matz and Cookie Carrasco are still in the league. That's insane.
Yeah, to have that much raw talent.
I mean, he's one of those guys that like never learned how to pitch. He's always like, I have 100 miles an hour. I'm just gonna blow past you. And then once that goes away,
like you just said too, though. Also, even if it didn't go away, everyone's used to that by now.
Yeah,
like, you got to do something different. But honestly, David Wright, man, to go back to him, like he's like the best. He's like the best guy. Maybe to ever root for. Like those are very rare. Even like the players you really love, it's like, oh, I don't know, this guy like caught a case or this guy did something wrong or whatever. Like there is nothing to not root for that guy. All the bad stuff was like shit that like he didn't deserve and like unfortunately happened to him. Like everything else is like, I guess he just, he's a quiet dude and doesn't want to be in the spotlight at all or something. I don't know. But the fact that he's not in coaching or broadcasting or something, player development is like a crime because who better to do off the field? David Wright was just like our off the field. Every year you do like a seminar to teach these guys everything you just said about Gelbs and like rookies. there's so much value in there, and I wonder if he's just like can't be around the game or something, because that would just, I mean, it would eat me up every time I'm at the ballpark, being like this, what could have been and what should have been instead is like this tragedy. Although I did see people like, I know, like life is like David Wright's life is the worst. He has to go home to his beautiful wife and hundreds of millions of dollars, and with the handsome chiseled jaw and all these things that everybody would kill for. But when the one thing he did want is what he couldn't have. So I get that.
Obviously, we hate the Wilpons. When I was there, Fred said point blank, the only reason he got that contract is because he's David Wright. He's like, you don't play like the player, like we're paying the person in this case, and that's the only reason we could justify like giving him that contract.
Fred was always a good dude, or at least everything I've heard from like baseball people or people much older are like, Fred's not the problem, and I believe that, because it's always the guy who earns it, or at least semi earns it. I don't know if his father was involved, but like when you earn it, you're totally different than when you're given it. And we see that with Dolan, we see that with the Wilpons, we see that with like virtually every son who's been handed a team just doesn't like get it. So Fred, I actually understand Fred doing that. If it was Jeff, I think he would have like spit on him.
Yeah, I mean, David Wright, I mean, even like in the interviews, and you just get the idea, like as a dad too, I'm like, fuck, this guy's such a better dad than I am too. I can already tell. I can just tell with his like 2 minutes about his kids.
I would like vote for him for president, dude. He is unbelievable.
I am interested to see if when his kids get older, and that's down the road because his kids are still so young, if he would want to get into it, because he seems like a guy who's like until they're in college, and then finally his wife's like, I had to get him out of the house. So
yeah.
But I do. That's the one good thing. Like as long as Cohen's around, I think the door is always wide open for him, and like a blinking arrow pointing in the door, being like, whatever you want, dude, you're here. And it's like, what can't that guy do for an organization, whether it's PR stuff, it's actual instructional stuff. I'm telling you, I have this like weird dream of David Wright being the manager when we win the World Series. I don't know how it's going to happen.
I think that's a possibility, bro. Like, I think the reason why he's not in it is if I had to speculate, if it was me, let's say, there's no shot I would, after having like being who I am as David Wright, I want to like coach in the minors, like be a bench coach, a like third or first base coach, and like work your way up the ranks. It's almost got to be like a Beltran situation where they just like handed him the keys for whatever reason. Because if Beltran was regarded as like immediate manager material, which I never really understood, to be honest, but whatever, then David Wright is certainly that guy. Like if you could just hand him a manager position, you can give it to David Wright as well. So maybe he's just like, I'll wait till I'm like 50 and then they'll give it to me. I don't know. But or I really think there's a world where he's like, I can't be around this right now. Like it's just all tragedy to me.
Completely understandable. And like you said, the fact that he was a fucking Mets fan growing up in Virginia, it's like he was the prince that was promised. There's no other way to put it. And it's typical Mets luck that it all ended as tragically did. But hey, there were some great times as well. So it was an awesome weekend, all things considered. We're going to move forward. And before we move forward, we're going to look into getting some more baseball games, because there's nothing like getting to a baseball game, especially last minute. Lucky for me, I always use Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Game Time makes getting tickets faster and easier. Price on the app actually go down the closer it gets to game time. I was looking at tickets for a little hate watch, boys. I know we like a good hate watch here on the pod. Phillies at Yankees tomorrow night, 7:05. Anthony Volpe bobblehead day. I'm telling you, I don't think you're going
Anthony Volpe bobble? Oh my God! No, you've got to pull that. If you got to pull that promotion. Anthony Volpe and bobble cannot be plastered all over your stadium.
Bobble glove night.
Crazy.
Well, boys, I can get in for as cheap as $64. I can get my Anthony Volpe bobblehead and watch the Phillies and the Yankees hopefully duel for 100 innings as every pitcher on their team gets exhausted. An absolute steal. You can put those savings back in your pocket and spend them at the ballpark on a hot dog, a new hat, or some good old-fashioned cracker. You know what? I'd even get their little Yankee steak that they have, or their steak sand, whatever it is. So what are you waiting for? I'm going to get my Phillies-Yankees tickets now with Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code BELIEVE for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code BELIEVE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app. What time is it? Game time. That might be the first ever bobblehead that there's just stuff in the boxes at the end of the thing because the people didn't take them.
What they should do is make the ball bobble. It should be his glove, and it should like come in and out of his hand. that shit would be like a collector's item. A regular one. Bro, I said this on Twitter the other day. Everyone loves to say if Aaron Boone didn't hit a home run, he wouldn't have the job. If Anthony Volpe wasn't this notable Yankee fan who met Derek Jeter when he was like 5 years old, he would not have a job.
It's totally in privilege. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was trying to search the other day. I was like, what age did he meet Derek Jeter? That picture of him when he's a little kid. And as I was searching, I found all these articles that were like, the next Derek Jeter is here. Like the Yankees, like future Yankees captain, Anthony Volpe, like all this shit that is just so fucking insane to crown a kid who now has he has the most errors in all of baseball, let alone like among shortstops. Crazy. He stinks.
Would you, if you're a Yankees fan, you might trade him for
a bag of balls.
Didi Gregorius. Remember Didi? I love Didi. I was so mad. Yo, there's nothing
worse than taking the role of a guy like that. They crown you the next, and then you're just obviously not. Even if you play well, you're not that. There's no way to like fill those shoes.
Didi low-key like flawlessly took over for Jeter.
He was good.
It was as good as you can get for a transition.
Absolutely,
as good as you could get.
I remember thinking like, oh, he's doing good, but like he's not the next Jeter. That'll like you need a in between, a transition guy, and the next guy will be their superstar. And the next guy's fucking Anthony Volpe. This guy sucks.
Speaking of next guy, I was going to do this on the pod, and it didn't work out as quite, but we're going to just do this as just the Clem fun stat of the day here. Brett Beatty is 23 OPS points behind Francisco Lindor. We're just going to put that out there.
Brett Beatty's just a good baseball player. He's doing it all. Hitting big home runs, flashing the glove, throwing the ball. Like that was so fucking awesome to see Mauricio, Alvarez, and Beatty all play in the same game, all have big moments. There was a picture of them all at home plate after Alvarez hit that home run. And then there's the picture of them side by side, all in the Brooklyn Cyclones. Like that is, it was. So the picture of that home run, the picture of them in the Brooklyn Cyclones, and then the chart that said top 3 prospects, and it was Mauricio, Alvarez, Beatty, and they're all here. Like I know that things aren't perfect, and there's some stuff to complain about, and all that shit. But when you have like 3 of those guys, homegrown guys, all like making an impact, coupled with the Lindors and the Sotos, the big free agent signings, like they're doing it right. It doesn't mean that they're the best. It doesn't mean they're going to win a World Series, but like they're doing it all correctly right now.
This is what you like to see as a fan. When at least just like some of the younger guys are just contributing. And then if they start giving those glimpses of at least being an everyday player, that's what keeps you coming back for more, of course, with the
at this point, I think Beatty has earned his spot.
He's the third baseman the rest of the year in my mind.
Yeah. Like there should be no more up and down. There should be no more like your bench. Like he should just play.
Outside of like Eugenio Suarez, who I don't think we're going to get because his price is so high. I don't think there's a guy on the market you can really trade for. It's an upgrade over Beatty right now. Like IKF's not better. Brian Hayes is not better. Like at this point, it's like Beatty's just the guy the rest of the season. And now, depending on what he is the last 2 months, then you evaluate in the winter.
If there was something like Suarez, would you pull the trigger?
I think he's the best bat on the market.
It's going to probably be like 2 or 3 of them, 3 or 4 of them. Like you're going to have to give up a lot.
The prices are going to be absurd.
Yeah, I just, as much as I like look around the league and I'm sort of like, it's kind of wide open. Like this might be a good year to go after it. It's also like everything I just described, you're compromising for short-term success,
Also, it's like, what happens if you trade for Suarez and he's just a dud? He just regresses. Like he has like 36 home runs. What if he hits like 5 for you?
Right, and that's entirely possible. I don't know. I right now I'm happy. I mean, Ronnie I love, so whatever. Beatty just being good, and then even Alvarez, like as much as he struggled, comes back and fucking starts hitting dingers. Could be a very different second half if those guys are all clicking.
It's crazy what happens when you sell out for power and just don't try to hit dinky little singles.
Right.
Kyle, what'd you have to say? I saw you had something cooking.
It makes me nervous how much it really does hinge on them figuring it out and how it's been that way all season long. Like we have 4 or 5 guys at any given time that we just need like 2 of them to be good. And it's just like, it's such short-lived every time they are good. And every time I think Beatty's figured it out, he doesn't. And then it's like, shit, like now we need somebody else to step up. But if Vientos can somehow, some way just figure out how to swing, and Beatty can just do what he's doing right now, we're not relying too heavily on them. We literally just need like a little bit of production from the bottom of the lineup, and then this team is scary. But like, we can't continue to win games. We can continue to win games because we have been by a run or two. It's just not sustainable when you get to the playoffs because if they go cold, that's it. You need,
and it's always like
offensive production occasionally.
When you're winning like 3-2 or 2-1 all the time, it's like you
have to think in your head like you need to beat the Dodgers.
Yeah,
that is where we're at, and that's why we fell short last year because we just could not keep up with their offense.
Or even the Cubs now too. It's like they're going to put up big numbers. But I don't know. I think it was Rich McLeod on Twitter was saying like, imagine watching this team every day and not thinking they need lineup help. Like everything you were just kind of describing, Phil. Like, of course, there's a couple superstars that you could get. But, like, if you look around, like, who are you really replacing with, like, assuming you're not getting superstars, who are you really replacing in this lineup? Like, you just need the current lineup to play good.
The only spot where you absolutely need more offense from is center field, just because I don't think you could play Jeff McNeil there at 33 years old, like, every single day.
But if the rest of the lineup did what they're supposed to do, you could live with having a fielding center fielder and not a hitting center fielder. Like, I don't know. I look up and down that lineup, and it's either, like, superstars or guys who have the talent and have the promise, and I don't think are like not going to put it together. It's just a matter of if and when they put it together.
I like Winker, but I think Marte could have much more of an impact if he can hit for average. But even right and he comes back, it's like it's a totally different dynamic.
But both of those guys, like, I think both of those guys can hit. It's just like you need all of them to do it, and more importantly, you need them all to click at once.
And
I don't look at that lineup being like, there's a massive hole, I guess, other than Tyrone Taylor and center field, but like he makes up for his glove. So like everyone has value and everyone is like, oh, you once hit 30 home runs. You once hit 30 home runs. You're like young and finally putting it together. Everyone out there is either a superstar or kind of almost has the potential to be a superstar. So I don't think you need new guys. I think you just need the current guys to hit.
I mean, the last month, like the start of the slide, I think it was like June, like 10th or whatever. I think Lindor and Alonso's OPS are both like in the low 600s. It's like when your 2 and 4 hitters aren't hitting,
whatever. So him coming out of it's a huge upside too. But like you just got to find one guy. It could be a no-name guy who hits with runners in scoring position because that was Jose Iglesias last year.
You know what? It's Jose Iglesias. It's Kelly Johnson. It's Dark Sex.
Yep.
All those guys. So, like, go, that's what you need to win at this deadline because I just don't think there's any big name that
Who's the guy that, I can't remember the team now. They picked up a guy that was like a fringe guy and then he became like a world beater and they won the World Series.
Who? Which team?
I can't remember. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Who? Soler? When fucking he just went.
Yes. Oh yeah, there were like 3 of those guys. Yeah, Soler.
LCS MVP.
This is Phil's fucking life. He has
Soler, Eddie Rosario, Jock Peterson. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it was almost Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe for us. Like, those things do happen if you find
the guy you never see coming. Who then you're like, oh fuck, like that was what they needed.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want at the deadline because I guess this is kind of deadline talk as well. And like, Kev, your brother Brendan used to always say this stuff. He's like, whenever people be like, the Mets need to make an offer, he's like, all right, now where? Because it's like we had this guy locked in this position. Pete's there at first. Jeff's at second. Lindor's at short. I do think Beatty should be at third, and I think they should stop moving him off at third.
Agreed.
Even though I know we need the bats. There's only one.
He's way too big to be a nimble second baseman. Like
they do that because they run out Mauricio at third base when they both play together at the same time.
Well, that is the thing. Ronnie is, I think, defensively can play third, whereas a lot of the third base glove has been a problem. So I do get that there's kind of this musical chairs that's not ideal, but keep going.
Nimmo left, Soto right. Center field is where it's at. And you said it too with Iglesias. We need a Jose Iglesias in center field. That's all we need. We need a right-handed hitter that can hit. It doesn't even have to be like a 300 hitter, like a 265 right-handed hitter, because I think we're a little lefty-heavy as well, and I'm set. That's all I need. And the guy plays good defense.
I have an idea.
Defense.
I have an idea. How about we play Jose Iglesias in center field?
I hate it.
Jose Iglesias' OPS is like 500 with the Padres. He could be cutting a week for all you know.
Hey. Recapture some of that magic.
I mean,
there has to be, honestly, what I hate to admit it, but like, isn't what we're describing kind of Harrison Bader
Yes, I was just gonna say that because he could be available.
Like, did we just let the wrong guy go? Like,
He's having a really good season for the Twins, and he could be available because the Twins
That
are
was my
looking
guy
solid.
last year. He did always come up. Like it seemed like he could give you a line drive when you needed it.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, he might be like, "Fuck you guys," but I don't even know. It's up to him. I don't know. Maybe just go run it back with him.
The options for center field are like dwindling. It's like Luis Robert, Harrison Bader, and like Cedric Mullins. And Mullins is a lefty.
Luis Robert probably would be a pretty big price tag, or no?
No, he'd cost literally nothing because he's been awful this year outside of last month.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Like he
realize.
may cost you like two like guys in the back end of the top 20, like what Will Salmon said yesterday.
I think I would do that.
I'd give up Nick Morbido and like Jonathan Pinata in a hot heartbeat for
I
him.
don't even know who the fuck these guys are, but yeah.
Exactly.
The thing about Robert too is it's like you do get the White Sox bump where it's like when guys come off of our team or like the Kings trade a guy and he's just so much better, and it's like because he's in a real organization now, right?
It's like the guy in Lord of the Rings, like getting unpossessed.
It's like
Yes.
Andrew Vaughn is 1,000 OPS since the White Sox got rid of him. Like Gavin Sheets is having a good year. Just get off the White
you
Sox.
get to leave that town, it's gonna give you some sort of life.
Yeah,
And he knows he'd be playing for a contract because the White Sox aren't picking up the $20 million option he's due.
Luis
So you have-
Robert's hitting 206.
Yikes!
But
I didn't know it was that bad. I remember hearing that
it's-
name and
Over the
thinking,
last month, though, it's like 265. Like that's the other thing.
That's even worse, Phil.
You're betting on future production, not past
His
production.
Yeah.
So all right, so then that's the question here. If you had your choice, would you take Harrison Bader or Luis Robert?
I would take Robert just because I think he's 27 years old. Like there is a star player in there. Like there's more upside.
to me that that's almost like a reclamation project where it's like if you even come close to reaching the potential. Like I thought he was still playing well. I don't pay attention to him, so I thought that was like a big name. So to me, it's like if you can recapture even half of what you're supposed to be, you'll at least be a Harrison Bader and then more.
Mhm.
Yeah. And the reason why Harry Bader also works is they're rumored to be or the Twins are rumored to be selling, and whether they're talking or not.
They're
You have
relievers.
Duran, Griffin Jacks. You have I love Joe Ryan. I had him in fantasy, and he has Kev. Do you know this guy pitches something called the Invisiball? The Invisiball. So you throw that in the ghost fork,
What does the invisible do?
turns invisible. Remember Bugs Bunny? Shit turned invisible. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. Honestly, I don't know if it's even his fastball or his sinker. I don't know what it is, but I love Joe Ryan. He was awesome for me in fantasy. That's literally my entire scouting report. Phil, I feel like the Twins are like one of the big teams are being talked about.
Yes, because they have like 4 or 5 relievers they could all sell. I don't know if Joe Ryan's on the table. His price tag's hefty because he's got like 2 more years of control after this one. But it's obvious we do need an extra pick. We need arms. We can't keep going with this slop.
And I mean, unless they're thinking the solution long term is going to be from the system, you're going to have to trade at some point for somebody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're not going to sign someone. I don't think we're signing Tariq Skubal for $400 million, no matter how much Buster Olney wants to piss off Detroit people on a random fucking Tuesday for no reason.
Bro, look. By the way, can you share my screen? Yeah look at this sweeper from fucking Joe Ryan. 30 inches of break. That's one of the best pictures I've ever seen.
His price tag would be like really high. It'd be like Sproat and like whoever. Like
do it.
I'd do it. I have no problem giving up the prospects. I just don't think Stearns would.
Yeah, I was listening to 880, whatever that is, like whoever those guys are now. Instead
CBS,
of
WCBS still?
Yeah, but I just don't know who the hosts were, so sorry. But they were talking about wait, what did you just say, Phil? I just lost it. What did you say a second ago?
I said his price tag would be hefty.
Search. They were talking about the Brewers. They said who were like they gave the division leaders of everyone in baseball, and they said how many of these do you think are in the top 10 in payroll? And so they were so it was 2 teams not in the top 10, and it was the Tigers and the Brewers, and the Brewers currently right now have the best record in baseball. And they were like, just gushing about them. And I was like, the guy who like got that really going and like really established that is over fucking here now. Because I was thinking, like, oh man, isn't that incredible if we could do that? I'm kind of like, well, if we trust in this guy, like maybe we will. And then you couple. I remember thinking about Sandy Alderson, like, oh, he's got the small ball, what's it called, Moneyball, and now he's got money to spend in a big market, and like it just never really clicked. I mean, it did in some ways, but I mean, if that can really happen with Stearns and some of these guys that are like How do you play this well with like a $80 million payroll? I don't even know what they fucking have. It's crazy.
The way they do is, you're not going to get a Soto or an Ohtani or whoever in that market. You just build a roster of like 25 or 26 average players. The less bad players you have on your roster, that's how you get through 162.
Yeah, and
USA beating the Russians.
Yeah.
Pieces to offset.
But it also kind of makes sense in a way where it's like you don't have all your eggs in one basket. It's like kind of like the Mets right now are like so reliant upon the top half of their lineup, And if you're not and baseball is so fickle where it's like, even, we've seen these guys go through cold stretches where they look as bad as. I think that's kind of the rub in baseball is no matter who you are, you will go through a stretch unless you're like Aaron Judge, where you are like, you look terrible. And if you can just limit that and have guys who all kind of stay like level, it's almost more valuable or successful.
I think every team has gone through like a killer stretch so far. So like obviously the Mets had theirs. The Tigers have lost 9 of their last 10. The Dodgers have lost like 4 of their last 15 or something. The Phillies had a similar stretch earlier in the year. Every team goes through that bad stretch this year. There's no like world beater.
I don't know how the Phillies fans are feeling right now, but if I were them, I think I'd be pretty fucking down.
It's like, how are we not like 5 games up on the Mets?
Yeah. Like if you can't capitalize on that June and some of the little like missteps of the Mets, like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they had like, I would bet the Phillies have like the same record as us from June 1st till now. And we were like, we're fucked. This guy is falling. Oh, should we sell at the deadline? And I don't know if the Phillies fans are just like, they didn't have more sustained success. So they're kind of like, whatever, we'll be fine. But I would bet they have the same record. And, our record fucking sucked.
The thing too for us that made that even worse is we were losing to the rivals, one of them being the Phillies, but then the Braves and then all the Yankee shit that was going on. It was really as dark as it could get. And it started with a fucking series in a goddamn Atlanta, which even though like yesterday, Strider I saw got knocked around. I'm like, I'm still happy they're getting their asses kicked.
I don't think they've won a series since us.
It's crazy. It's crazy how they could just fucking like level up against us, beat us 2 out of 3 at least, if not sweep, and then they just go back to being a fucking pumpkin.
Imagine if I told you back in March we'd be up 14 games on the Braves in the middle of July.
Crazy,
dude. It's crazy.
It's like I don't even think about them that much anymore.
I don't think about them at all. And I'm like, except for when I sometimes I have thoughts of like, oh, I bet the Braves have like rattled off like 10 in a row and they're creeping up. Like, let me go check the standings.
And it's 10.5 out.
Yeah, crazy.
That's going to be interesting. Seller, or I don't know what they're going to do with. I don't know how their contracts are lined up.
The only guys they're going to move is Ozuna, who has a full no trade clause basically with 10-5. Right, he got to pick his new team. Raisel Iglesias, Pierce Johnson, maybe Aaron Bummer. Like, there's no like controllable guy they're going to like blow up.
Are they injured or are they just like everybody sucked?
For the most part, everyone's kind of just sucked. Like Austin Riley's injured now, but like he was healthy all year.
Is it relatively the same lineup from like 2022?
For the most part, yeah. Like Michael Harris is one of the worst hitters in baseball. Ozzy Albies is one of the worst hitters in baseball.
Yeah, those contracts are coming back to be like, oh.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have just paid. Maybe give these guys something to play for instead of making them happy.
Dude, the Michael, I remember being like, oh my God, Andrew Jones 2.0 is here. Fuck. Like, this is going to be 15 years of torture. And it's still early. Maybe, the same way I still think that Vientos could be like a stud. Maybe this is just a little sophomore, or not sophomore, but, early regression for him. But I thought that guy was like going to be a problem for years to come. And he's like literally the worst.
Michael Harris has 11 walks this season. His on-base percentage is .237.
11 walks. That's a week.
Wait. Yeah, his on-base percentage is .237.
Yes.
What's his batting average?
.214.
I was gonna say like 236. Like, that's like a double header for Juan Soto. 11 walks.
11 walks. It's like a series.
That's crazy, man.
He's at negative 21.3 offensive WAR right now on FanGraphs. He's also 24, which he's going to be like one of like Starlin Castro was like 22 years old forever. He was
Starlin Castro had like 2,500 hits by the time he was like 30.
If you were a Braves fan though, you got to think to yourself like Jason Hayward 2.0.
Is he injured at all, or he's just like?
No, he's been healthy all year. He's an everyday player. He just can't hit.
That's crazy.
And then, like I said, Ozzy Albies, who had like we talked about it, that was like the biggest fleece in baseball. The guy makes $7 million a year. They may not even pick up that option at the end of the year.
Oh, right. Those are guys that are probably worth taking a flyer on in some
Yep.
way. You know what I mean? A little change of scenery, give him some confidence. Wow.
Maybe, but
What do you guys think is the main thing that we need to address at the deadline? Bullpen, starting pitching, hitter.
I know that everybody
move the needle enough where you're like, okay, now I'm comfortable.
I feel like everybody bolsters their bullpen at the deadline, so you got to do that. But I really feel like a lot of the bullpen problems are a result of the starting pitching. I think when you don't have starters that can go deep, it just taxes those guys. I think, again, to go back to the lineup, like if you look at the lineup, like who are you really going to replace that is going to be that much of an upgrade based on potential or ability? I don't know if that's going to make that much of a difference. I think you have to get some relievers no matter what, just to throw shit at the wall. But I think the need is starting pitching.
I think you just need to get a bridge to Diaz because Diaz is the only guy in the bullpen right now where he gets on the mound. You're like, okay, we're good. Unless there's inherited runners. But
that ninth inning the other day against the Angels, I swear to God, he could have struck out any three people on the planet Earth. That could have been Judge, Ohtani, and fucking Tony Gwynn. And he was gassing those guys. When he almost hit that dude in the head, and he was like, give me the ball back. No big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He is and that call last night, that call third strike was such a fucking gift. But I feel like he earned that one.
Strike one, strike two, and strike three were all gifts. And then it's like, you got to know that's going on a strike.
He's consistent.
Yeah. But that third pitch was like high and outside. Like it would have like hit the guy in the other batter's box.
So
he's earned that shit, man.
He has an opt-out at the end of the season, and he's going to be due a lot of money if he keeps pitching like this. I wonder if they go after, like, Class A.
Edwin has a
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why it's like maybe.
How much more can he get?
I mean,
He's getting like $25 million a year?
No.
Wasn't it like 5 years, 120?
He's the highest.
5 for 100, I think.
Oh, I thought it was like 120 something. Okay.
But back then, 100, I mean, still to this day, 100, still.
It would be he would have $15 million the next 2 years. And then $17 million club option.
More than that.
So,
see, that's why the Soto contract is so perfect because if he opts out after 5, we could it's built in that he has to accept whatever the increase is. He can't get away from it.
But what if he's like, I want 360 or I want 480?
Explain that again.
So he could opt out. Soto can opt out after 5, but the Mets can choose to like activate a contingency plan that pays him an extra $5 million, I think, for every remaining year. And
Yeah.
he
That's effectively not enough.
That's nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like, I want
that's a great deal. I didn't.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I was like, I don't know. We'll just deal with that when that comes. But like, that's great.
Garrett Cole had something similar where it's like if he opted out, the Yankees could negate it by adding the extra year. And then he didn't end up opting out because they were like,
that was one of the I fucking hate the Yankees. Like that was some big nuts by Cashman, and then to be like, nah, not
we know your elbows are taking time bomb. Go out there.
Yeah. I think you got to pay Diaz.
You do, but I also think that you gotta have a contingency, like get a controllable arm now, just so you have a backup in case like something happens.
Well, yeah.
It also makes your team better this year too.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. Whether it's Duran, Clase, I think it's going to be one of those guys.
Yeah, like imagine having those guys as a bridge in the 8th inning. Then it's like, okay, we gotta worry about 6th and 7th now.
In worst case scenario, you're paying both next year, and you're fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, worst case, you have a great bullpen.
Along with, in the playoffs, play Holmes potentially, right? So you have Holmes there, and you're throwing him with the other guys. And then, I don't know. I'm just going to say this. I think I've said it in the past pretty loud, and I'm going to just put my fucking flag down and say it with my chest. I am a Reed Garrett guy. I've been a Reed Garrett fan since day fucking one, and I'm not getting off the boat because he has a couple struggles when he's overworked. People have to stop giving Reed Garrett. I think it might be an anti-ginger bias. I think it might be a hair color thing because the amount of hate this man gets when he comes through so many fucking times for us, I don't understand. Like, am I going crazy here? When he's bad, he's awful, but that's every fucking Belpin guy, including
give him a clean inning, and then
it's every inning. It's inherited runners, like first and second. I go get out of it. Like,
honestly, he deserves. Not only does he not deserve hate, he deserves like all the flowers and credit in the world for dealing with the shit they put him in. And again, when you're overworked because nobody can pitch more than 4 innings, it's like, of course you're not going to be good.
You guys know I tracked the 6 innings. Did the Mets pitcher 30 for 103, and the vast majority of that is David Peterson and Senga, who hasn't even pitched.
Do you know what like the league average is?
Usually we're ahead of the league average. I'd have to check, but at the end of the season, I always look into it.
Even this year?
I don't know. Most years, yes.
I forgot
Most
the
years,
exact date, but it's like the Colorado series. We haven't had a pitcher in over a month go more than 6 innings besides David Peterson.
Yep.
Yeah, that's.
Which, I mean, like, if you watch the team, it makes sense. It's like all the bullpen games, Clay Holmes.
I don't know if
Frankie
it's a
Montas.
Mendoza thing or like he decides he's going to push them further once we get into like August, because it does seem to always end up going in that direction where he's just like, all right, go back out there.
Also, a lot of these times, like, these guys are also gassed by the time they get through 5, or they just can't even get there.
I was surprised by the other day they left in Montas when it was like 2 men on and Trout, and he still went like another inning after that. But I feel like that's relatively a baseball problem these days and not like a Mets problem. I don't have any stats to back that up, but I just feel like that's the way the direction the game has gone with injuries and I guess fatigue. I don't know. But for real, like, is it the difference that like everyone's throwing 100 now? Because why are these bums back in the day able to throw like 200 pitch complete games all the time?
It's basically that.
They're just fucking tougher than that, or they were throwing like 75 miles an hour.
And also managers that didn't care if a guy blew his arm out.
Yeah, but did they blow their arms out? Because it feels like there's more Tommy John now, or did we just not know about it because like Tommy John was that thing in like the 50s?
I don't know. Maybe guys just played with torn UCLs for like 5 years without realizing.
There is part of me. I guess there's also so much money on the line now. Like I feel like these guys like had second jobs anyway. And they were like, I blew out my arm. Let me go back to like working the docks. And now if I blow out my arm, I'm gonna lose $200 million. So let's shut me down. You know.
I saw someone say that like the bullpens that they're throwing now are like they're so data driven that they like check the spin rate and the velocity during their bullpens. So there's never just like a day where they're just like bullshitting and throwing for accuracy.
Everything's stressful.
Constantly ramping it up, and like there's so many extra like high pressure throws.
I'm telling you, the guy who figures that out, like kind of when Billy Beane figured out Moneyball and it was like this big revolution. The guy who just like figures out how to keep pitchers healthy. I don't even know if it's possible, but if somebody does, forget about the Jeremy Hefners of the world. That guy will be like worth his weight in gold.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So basically, for the deadline, we're saying like, I think we need a setup guy, like an 8th inning guy. We need, I'd say at least one other arm to throw in there. If you're going to take a starter, then you're bumping someone from the starting rotation.
It would be Holmes.
It would be Holmes, but then to the bullpen, which makes the bullpen stronger, right? And then for the bats, I think like right-handed center field is I think what I want and a lot of people want. Is there anything with the bench? Because I feel like Acuna gives us the speed angle. Winker and Marte give us the left-right bat if they're both healthy. Is there anything else there? Because like I don't know if there's any tweaking they have to do on that side of it.
It's a lot.
Actually, saw like good defensive replacements late in the game.
Torrens is a perfectly good backup catcher.
Yeah, Torrens, Taylor, Acuna. Like when you really need a glove, you have guys to go to. You could honestly make the argument for all 3 facets of the game: bats, bullpen, and relief. Like, the bottom half of the lineup is terrible. The bullpen is shaky. Starters don't go deep enough. That you could go. You probably need all 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's feasible. I feel like if you go get all 3, you're getting a lesser version of each thing. You know what I mean? You could go get a great closer, or a good bat, or a good pitcher, or you can get 1/3 of each of those.
Like Brooks Rally's still trying to figure out the strike zone. We probably lost Kranick. AJ Minter would have been that. There's been so many injuries to the point where like you can't just keep calling people up. You have to go get somebody who's proven themselves this season.
Yeah.
It sucks because especially the fucking clowns who trash Stearns, and it's like he did his job.
Yeah.
They got injured. Like you would have 2 other like reliable good arms in the bullpen. So go into the season they had a good bullpen.
And same thing happened to the Dodgers. They paid all that money to Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates, who stink. They have to do the same thing. They're going to be in the bullpen market.
It's unless it's like a Diaz or a Class A or something, like you gotta spending money on those guys is just fucking crazy. It just never works ever.
Well, if you got to make some money to, be able to afford to pay for some arms, you can play some DraftKings. Nothing since summer like long days, clutch plays, and firing up a few bets on the game, all with DraftKings Sportsbook. As the season heats up, so do the bats, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered with live betting, home run props, odd boosts, and more. Whether you're chasing dingers or jumping in mid-game, there's always action to be had. Never bet on baseball before? It's easy. Pick a guy to go yard, hammer some live odds mid-game, or just ride with your squad and hope for the best. No spreadsheets, just vibes and dingers. Put it on a t-shirt. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers get bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BELIEVE. That's code BELIEVE for new customers. You get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. I was going to do a little juju corner here. And I was going to bring up the 4-0. Is it 4-0 since Pablo Sanchez appeared?
Yep. 2-0 since Elmo.
2-0 since Elmo. I like that they're just going to have like a potential gimmick every night, and we could just rally around that. Hey, whatever it's stupid unless it works. And then I also have to shout out because I thought it was called the Choncolette, but Garrett here, the chancla with the big sandal, and I don't know what the fuck it was. And he says the chancla represents an almost mystical power of Latin moms to control their children by throwing a flip-flop at their head. Phil, as someone that lives on the internet, is this what you've come up with your research?
Yeah, no. Alex Cohen actually responded to someone on Instagram and said that's exactly what it is.
Hell yeah, that's it. That's our our rally cry for the summer, man. That's it. Chancla. Everybody's got to wear flip-flops. Every time somebody hits a home run, you got to hit them on the head with your flip-flop. Let's go.
Dude, I just made the transition back to slide sandals for the first time in forever. And now I have to go back to the thongs just because.
I think sandals is a fair.
I mean, what are they rocking in the DR? Because I'm going to rock whatever they're rocking. You know what?
Slides.
I'm gonna get myself go to Walmart, get like a neon pink and yellow, like something crazy you'd see on the beach down there, right? So that won't be my everyday sandal, but I've bought into it. Kev, we've talked about this how many times? Like the Pete Horse and some of the what was the goddamn actually, you know what? He who shall not be said, the stupid hitting coach, the fake guy that was a wrestler, all those goddamn disasters, and we're like, these things are dead on arrival. But when they hit, guys like Marte are doing it. It fucking is awesome.
It makes you want to do it. I mean, OMG, Grimace. Like we had some bad ones in the past. We've had some good ones recently.
Yeah, we've had some great ones. So that's the current one. We have Pablo Sanchez, who's a fucking legend in his own right.
Dude, I just Googled Mets and chocolate popped up, and Nike has a pair of orange and blue slides with the Mets logo on it. That might be the one.
That might be an instant purchase right there.
You wearing that Barstool at the ballpark?
Yes, I am going to wear that Barstool at the ballpark. We have coming up. I just found out that we have a nice, easy URL too. GoFevo, F-E-V-O, GoFevo.com/Barstool Sports. It pops you up, or you can just Google Barstool Sports, Barstool the ballpark, or whatever, or just Google Barstool the ballpark. You'll get the games. Next one, August 2nd. Giants, Francisco Alvarez bobblehead day. He is up on the big league club now, so that's a big league bobble you're getting. And as Kyle noted, that could be Pete Alonso breaking the Mets home run record game. He's 4 away, right? 4 away from breaking the record.
4 to tie, 5 to break.
4 to tie, 5 to break. Nice little West Coast swing. Comes back, hits the home run. It feels like it's going to be at City because that's what Pete does. Come out. Best deal in sports. All you can drink for 3 hours or till the 7th. Ticket to the game. Food credit. Obviously, you have the bobblehead. We'll be out tailgating beforehand. A beautiful day for baseball and hopefully a memorable Pete Alonso moment right there. So go fevo.com/group/Barstool Sports and see it on the YouTube right now. So we'll be there with our chanclas. We'll be there with our chanclas on.
I literally give me 2 more clicks and I purchased my Mets.
Boom. There you go. So, get your flip-flop. Everyone, okay, I'm asking everyone to come to the game, wear your chanclas to the game. That's what I'm going to do that. I've been rocking the sneakers like a dad lately. I'm going back to sandal mode like I did in my 20s watching David Wright at Jay. We're going chancla mode for the rest of the season. Whatever it takes to get us to the fucking back to the playoffs.
Order placed. Got it. I found them on some website for $30, but they didn't have my size. But you can get them for pretty cheap if you got big feet. But I got mine from Nike. So you want your Mets chanclas, go get them.
I'm going to say you're an 11, Kev.
I'm a 10.5.
I was going to say 10.5, and I fucking rounded up.
I do go down a little bit for sandals because I hate when you walk in sandals and you have to like hold your toes to keep them on, and then all of a sudden your calves are hurting. And it's like I've been flexing my fucking calves all day. I'm out of shape. It's fine.
All right, so now, like I said, we're going to the West Coast now, and let's do our old man dad recap of this. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 6 games are comically late, which is after 9 o'clock. We have a 10:15, a 9:05, a 9:40, and a 9:40, and then we also have a 7:10 and a 7:10 and a 4:10 and a 1:40 mixed in. I'm sorry, we have a 10:15, a 9:05, a 9:40, and 9:40, and then there's 2 earlier games, a 7 and a 4. So not awful, not great either.
Not great. I will be next podcast. I will be here for vibes because I'm staying up late for these games.
As of now, we have Holmes versus Webb, Peterson versus Ray, and Senga versus TBD. On ESPN, of course, the 7 o'clock game is on goddamn ESPN. And we're going to go to our resident super crazy diehard baseball nerd, Phil. Tell us about the San Francisco Giants.
So I just want to start by saying these next 9 games are incredibly important because the Padres and the Giants are right below us in the standings. If you go 6-3, 5-4 in the stretch, you can effectively raise your playoff odds 98% or something. Like a really good spot.
Wow.
The Giants do not score runs; they just pitch. They have since the Rafael Devers trade.
We don't score runs either.
Yes,
so.
since the Rafael Devers trade, I believe they have the 3rd fewest runs in baseball. That was what the stat was.
Isn't that crazy that I don't know, the Red Sox are kind of right, or at least right now. I mean, they're not super duper regretting it. It's kind of weird.
We missed Justin Verlander, who just got his first one yesterday. That stinks.
Crazy.
Something weird always happens in San Francisco. I feel like we always get walked off on there, so let's try not to have that happen.
I feel like the Phillies fulfilled that though with that walk off bouncing off the wall.
Yes.
So maybe they got their luck out against the NL East already. I don't know.
So Matt Chapman leads them in OPS right now. Helio Ramos 2nd. Devers is already 3rd. Adames has been a disappointment this season, batting .229. He has 15 bombs, though.
Bro, is anybody good anymore?
No.
There are good players out there that are consistently good. There's Soto and Judge.
Mookie Betts is an OPS of 680. Even he's bad now.
What? How are you supposed to build a team anymore? You have to rebuild your team every fucking year from scratch. It's crazy.
Everyone thought the Braves would be good forever. Now even they stink.
Yeah. I mean, god damn. Some of these guys are people I would put in as locks for MVP candidates, and they're not even above replacements. Crazy.
The Giants have Dom Smith, who has a 710 OPS.
He's playing. He's playing here, not every day, but he's playing a lot.
Okay. The Dom Smith, I feel like
he's gonna hit his first home run since he left the Mets.
I feel like every single time there's runners on in a late situation, Travis d'Arnaud's up. Whatever team he's on, it's always TDA. And I'm always he's going to fuck us right now because of the storyline, And I would not be surprised if there's a little Dom Smith action like that this week.
And don't forget the other guy who's in their lineup who I think had he has 12 home runs. I think he had 11 in the first month of the season.
Yeah.
Wilmer Flores, right?
It was he was, Aaron Judge was putting up historic numbers, and they were 2nd in the league in home runs. It's what? Wilmer fucking Flores still doing it. Still to this day, the walk-off king for the Mets, right? I think he has the most walk-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the case? Wow.
I think Lindor's creeping up there, but I think he has 15 walk-offs or something.
And then, Phil, do you have us a little preview of the Padres because we have them next before?
They are another team that don't score runs. They're 27th in the league in home runs.
Which is crazy. That's crazy too, right? Weren't they bombs away, San Diego?
Yeah, Slam Diego. They just don't have power anymore. Tatis has been in a slump. Merrill's been in a slump. Merrill's had a concussion a month ago, so that's probably why.
It's weird. Tatis doesn't have power after the positive. That wasn't strange.
Is there a chance that that was the reason for everything, and he's not as advertised?
Maybe. I mean, there's a chance. I mean, he also is still a really good player. It's just he doesn't hit. No one on that team hits home runs.
Oh, yeah. Side note: did you guys see D. Gordon?
Yes, he just completely lied.
That story doesn't make.
What the fuck was that?
Doesn't make a single lick of sense. The years don't match up. The stats don't match up.
Look up the stats. Yes, he's the league punished me because they wanted Bryce Harper to win the Triple Crown. I think Bryce Harper led in one category.
I looked it up the other day. He was batting 260, and was like not even close to the.
It was like 30 fewer RBIs.
Yeah.
It's on record that the steroids he used, or not steroids, the performance enhancers don't bulk you. He's like, look at me. You think I'd be on steroids? I'm real thin. It's like, yeah, dude, because you took the one drug that they know you took that you can't.
Yeah, you're doing the Tour de France shit. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, he lived a dream though. I mean, he took steroids, got paid, and then that was it.
That's it. You can't think what.
Yo, I say this all the time. If I had a chance to like be a legacy player, I wouldn't fuck with it. Otherwise, I'm taking steroids.
That jerks and Protopar, same thing.
Do it right. Get past a couple tests somehow, some way. Get your bag. I like Jerry Maia was our guy, right? Who just got 5 times in a row. All for it. All for it. You were never going to be anything special. Your legacy doesn't matter. The choice is either be in Major League Baseball or be like in the Dominican League. I'm doing steroids every fucking day and just crossing my fingers. How does
this affect his Hall of Fame case? Like, there's never going to be one.
Right. Like Barry Bonds, I don't know. Probably should have done it. You would have just had a Hall of Fame career anyway. You went to an immortal, but like otherwise, I'm fucking doing it.
Henry Rahia was taking like horse steroids.
It wasn't even
like I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dude, I hate to even say it. I think David Wright should have done steroids.
Yes.
Like
100%.
just whatever may help you recover or fight through the.
You should have been shooting up stem cells like Bartolo.
Yeah, doing that.
Yes.
That guy who's trying to live forever. Whatever that guy, Brian Johnson, should have gone and lived with him and done that shit.
Did you see in the new quarterback, Kirk Cousins is in Mexico or he's somewhere in the Caribbean somewhere, and he's getting stem cells, and he's like, I don't really know what stem cells are. I'm like, Kirk, you know what they are. You just know it's against your religion. What they do. He goes, they come from the United States, and they bring them, and I can't inject them in the United States. Like, Kirk, you know, and hey, brother.
You're going to hell now, but hey, you might be able to play another season.
You might be able to get a nice house in hell because you're going to have a ton of money because that Achilles is getting fixed up. But yeah, David Wright should have gotten everything. HGH, stem cells, whatever Kobe got in Germany, all that shit at the same time.
All of it,
It's a goddamn joke. And then the pictures.
Wait, let me ask you one thing. Why is D. Gordon like on every podcast? He's like put out a book or something? Like what?
It's a retired player. Maybe wants to be out there. I don't know.
He was like making the rounds. He told that on like a few different podcasts. I was like, usually you have something you're selling or promoting, and I was like, what the fuck could D. Gordon possibly be doing?
He was on multiple. I only saw that one clip that was going crazy.
No, he was on with Rocket. He did Baseball Is Dead.
Yeah.
The one I saw it from, and then I thought maybe it's just those two. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I thought there was another one. I was like, why the fuck is D. Gordon out here?
He was like, no one's talking about D. Gordon in 3 years. Let me just figure it myself out.
We're gonna go right back to net. He probably was like, I'm gonna make this shit up so people talk about D. Gordon.
D. Gordon is almost too much of a pull for the dozen. Like that's kind of where we are now as a country.
Yeah,
Jeff, come on, G. Gordon question, really?
next dozen match is like this Marlin in 2015 won the batting title over Bryce Harper.
Prevented Bryce Harper from winning the Triple Crown that he couldn't even have a shot at.
I'm looking at the pictures here for the Padres. Pivetta has a 2.81 ERA, so we got him. We got Cease, who's a 4.59.
Cease stinks, and he's on a trade market. I don't think he gets moved though.
So he might not even be there by the time we get there. And then we have Yu Darvish, who I'm telling you, he has a 6.08 ERA after he just came back off the IL.
We'll never hit him.
Yu Darvish will
going
throw a complete game shutout. Put it in the books. I am not watching a single pitch of that game because Yu Darvish fucks us in the ass every single time he pitches.
He was like one of the last like extensions that their old owner signed, where it's like 38 years old. Here's a 5-year extension. It's like I'm not gonna live to see this.
They were like, "Here's for the next 5 years, we will beat the Mets every single time."
So yeah, it's a 9:40 game. So yeah, you guys, you just got a spoiler. Manaya's gonna pitch his brains out, pitch great. Doesn't matter. 1-0 Padres.
I've been encouraged with Minaya, by the way. Like I feel like he's settling in a little bit, like to be this is early on to come back. I feel like it's going to be good.
Yep. Oh, we got a little late
and that's
news
one
here.
arm off the market. That's bumps the price up for others.
Great.
I was not interested. When he faced us, he seemed a little shaky because he's not what he was. I was a little worried about him, and now definitely cross him off the list and red marker. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're fucked. We lost the goddamn game. So we gotta win 2 of those the other 2 Padres games, and then take 2 or 3 against the Giants. Actually, what would you sign up for now? 6 games, West Coast teams
5-4. 5-4. Because if you go 5-4, like I said, your chances of making the playoffs are like 90-something%.
Okay. Yeah, I'll sign up for 5-4.
Like, this is where these
3 at home
teams
against the Giants.
These teams see us, and it's like we got to make up ground somehow here.
Wait. What are the chances now? It'll jump that much?
I mean, I'm just also making
already
these odds. I'm making these odds up in my head.
Okay, I was gonna say that seems a little bit high. But okay.
It's a lot.
It's like, okay, realistically, these are teams that see us on the schedule. Like, this is where we have to gain our ground.
No,
and if we don't gain our ground,
yes, I do understand that. But also, at the end of this, it will be like August 1st, and
Yeah.
we can, lose the next 2 months and be way the fuck out of the playoffs. So.
At least Logan Webb is the 10-15 game. You know that one is going to be. He's going to throw
Quick.
7-8 innings.
Yeah.
If we're going to lose, at least make it quick on me. And you know it's going to be at least one game where it seems like it's going to be over, and then some team comes back, and then we go to extra innings.
Yeah.
What I thought was going to happen at the end of the Game 3 against the Angels. I was like, man, this was a laugher, and how the fuck are we going to go into extra innings on this? So. I guess we got to believe in the team, from the starters to the bullpen to the hitters, everyone that we're ready to make trades for, and Edwin Diaz at the end of it all. Gotta believe.
gotta believe.
Yankees stink.